Good morning. Happy Monday. It is so lovely to see you all. I hope you refound your gloves and your scarves and your hats and your long coats. I kind of put all those away and then all of a sudden went out last night and said, oh man. The good news is that Chris DiBiase usually has a long, big pile of hats and things. So if anybody needs any, you see Chris because he'll set you up. All righty. So a couple of quick things this morning before we finally get to have a conversation about Act Your Wage. I know I've been promising it for quite some time, and I'm finally there. So let's dive in so we don't run out of time yet again. Got a bunch of people piling into the waiting room. So the first thing I wanted to do this morning was officially and publicly say a very happy 20th birthday to my youngest child, Lily. I am officially no longer the parent of a teenager. My last child is now 20. I don't know how that happened. And the fact that I'm still 31 is even more amazing than almost anything else. However, happy birthday, Lily. Have a great day today. We're excited to see what the next 20 years brings your way. Hey, you saw over the weekend, I think, that Bold is now sold out. The reality is, if I'm being completely transparent, Bold was actually sold out last week by about Wednesday or so. And what we ended up doing was kind of shifting the room a little bit to try and create another seat or two. And then your leadership team, who made up 7 of those seats, agreed to stand in the back of the room for 7 weeks. So your leadership team gave up their seats so that you could have 7 more seats available to you. So we say thank you to them. We're really excited to be able to get as many of you in as we possibly could. So we are now sold out, and what that means is everybody who's registered will show up on Wednesday for First Step. For those of you who have done Bold before, you know that First Step is usually that free step where everyone's invited. However, with 87 of us already in the room, registered for the full Bold, we now have an issue where that we don't have a ton of seats additional, even in theater style, to have you come and check out First Step. So you saw that if you want a seat for First Step, you've got to reserve it. It's not going to be an open door policy. You've got to reserve that first seat for First Step. Knowing that there's no more room for the full Bold, we encourage at least about 15 or 20 of you, that's about as many as we can fit for First Step, to come and check that out. So do go and follow those instructions in the email that I sent over the weekend for that. For the rest of you, I'm really excited. As you saw, we've never sold out Bold before First Step before. So the fact that we did it almost a week before First Step, again, that just shows me your intention, your drive, your desire to grab this material and make it your own. So I'm excited to get started, and we will circle back on Wednesday morning around that. Hey, today at 11 o'clock, our ongoing book club begins a brand new book. You may have seen that. We're starting Wealth Can't Wait, which is an awesome book by David Osborne and Paul Morris. It looks something like that. So we're pivoting away from some of the real estate specific stuff into some money conversations. I'm going to tell you, you want to be in the room for this conversation. So even if you haven't read the book yet, come at 11 o'clock, start to listen to some of those conversations, start to get your mind set for what those conversations will look like over the next 4 weeks. Because I'm really excited about this one. If you've never read it, it's a fast read. It's written by 2 KW agents, so they're real estate agent specific, and yet it's all about wealth building and not real estate. So join us for that. At 1 o'clock today, we were supposed to have a schedule management conversation. That is going to be rescheduled to Thursday. I'll send out an email about that shortly. So nothing at 1 o'clock today. Unfortunately, we ran into some conflicts and so had to move that until Thursday. So do watch for more information on that reschedule. Before we move any further, I know that Fiona and friends wanted to have a quick conversation with you about what's happening this and next weekend. So Fiona, take it away.
Yes, great. Hi, everybody. Good morning. We would love to invite everybody within KW and everybody within their spheres to a Ukrainian event that we have, which we're hosting at the Market Center in Stamford this weekend. It's going to be hosted from 4 p.m. till 6 p.m. It's going to be Ukrainian food, music, culture. We have Bob Duff coming to talk. We have people live streaming in from the Ukraine. Cash donations would be really gratefully appreciated. So please invite away. If anyone needs, sorry, the graphic, just let me know. Okay, thank you.
Sure thing, Fiona. Thank you so much for putting this together. We're really excited to be able to participate in that. And guys, don't forget that getting together and having these events is all awesome. And the outcome that we're looking for is to make sure that we create a support system for our own agents and for the people who are suffering over in Eastern Europe, as well as raise money for either humanitarian efforts or for whatever humanitarian efforts are going on over there. So
can I add, I'm bringing Channel 12. We'll have crew with Channel 12.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So,
yes,
so now,
and I probably reach out a couple more channels as well, CNN and Stanford Advocate. And we also will have a special probably speaker. We'll see, it will be late in Ukraine, but he's an American warrior and his wife will be during this event. Her name is Tina Vasquez, and she's coming as a very honored guest. And she told me, she just texted me that her husband probably will FaceTime and give some talk and speech. So hopefully.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
So will be a lot of fun.
That sounds great. We're so excited. Thank you so much for all you guys are doing to create this awesome event. And we look forward to filling the training room on Saturday. All right. So without further ado, I do want to address with you the concept of acting your wage. Again, I know I plugged it a week ago, and then we pushed it, and I plugged it on Wednesday, and we ran out of time. And so so I want to make sure that we have enough time today to actually cover this, because it's one of those things that, you know, did you ever read something or hear something and it just kind of is rattling around in your head, and you're trying to find the spot that makes it make sense. Well, this is one of those things for me that as we were book clubbing Shift over the last couple of weeks, the very end of Shift, it's page 279 to 281 in the Shift book. At the very end of Shift, Gary talks about this concept of acting your wage. And what I thought I would do is I want to read you a little piece of it. So here I'm getting into my reading to you position, please note. So let me read a little bit of it, and then I want to, so again, we're on 279 for those of you who have Shift books handy. I want to read a little bit of this to you and then have a conversation around it. All righty. Gary writes, to successfully implement these 12 tactics, so the 12 tactics of Shift, you must act your wage. This means you must think and act the wage that you want before you earn it. What you do is who you become. You should probably write that part down. What you do is who you become. And a lot of people struggle with this concept. They don't understand that if you want to earn a certain amount of money, you have to live the calendar of a person who earns that, or it doesn't show up. Thoughts come before actions, and so therefore you have to think before you act. You do something, then you get a result. So it's thoughts plus actions equals results. How you think determines what you do, and what you do determines the results you get. He continues, I was talking with a real estate agent recently, and I got a sense that they were capable of far more than what was showing up. And I said to them, I think you're a $50 million producer masquerading as a $10 million producer. They were shocked and asked what I meant. And I said, what I mean is that you appear to have amazing potential. However, you're thinking and acting like a $1 million producer. I told him he was underperforming because he was underacting. You should probably write that down as well. He was underperforming because he was underacting. If you want to grow to the next level, you better start acting your wage. So if you want to shift your business to the next level, you better start acting your wage, right? The whole concept of you got to do what people do to have what people have or earn what people earn. It's kind of interesting because there's an example I was going to give, and the context is a little bit different this morning because my context is around Will Smith, and I congratulate him. I congratulate him for his Oscar win last night. The scuttle that happened prior to his Oscar win is I guess what it is, and yet the example is still his, and so I'll use it regardless of what occurred on the Oscars last night. If you don't know what happened on the Oscars last night, Google it because it's all over, right? And so I was listening to an interview with Will Smith a number of years ago, and he said to the interviewer, you know, I hear all the time from fans and people who are kind of looking up to me and looking at me. Gee, I wish I could have what you have. Gee, I wish I could look the way you look. Gee, I wish, gee, I wish, gee, I wish. And he said, you know, the thing that bugs me about that is 99.9% of those people are simply unwilling to do what I do to have what I have and look the way I look. And he didn't say it from ego. He said it because it's factual, it's true, right? It's so easy to look across the table and say, gee, I want that. And then not follow it up with the question of, what does that person do to have that? Whether it's a career, whether it's money, whether it's the way someone looks, whatever it is that you desire, right? There's a path towards it. You just have to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that result. And so the concept of acting your wage from 279 to 281 and shift, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. And I started to ask myself some questions a couple of weeks ago that I haven't quite found the answers to yet. And the first question I asked was, what wage, Rick, are you acting? And that creates that level of looking in the mirror, saying, okay, well, how do I spend my time? What questions do I ask myself? What do I place importance on? By the way, your calendar will tell you what you place importance on, because the things that are most important to you, you will find time for. As a business owner, if that's not generating and converting leads, you probably have some struggles, right? Because acting your wage doesn't mean hoping you make more money. Acting your wage means recognizing what it takes to earn at the level you desire to earn at, and then committing to doing those activities, right? And so for me, there's been a lot of do I watch too much television? Is one of my nighttime activities watching too much TV? And if I created a slightly different activity for some of that time, could I move myself forward? If I read a book, if I got on the treadmill for another mile, what could I do at night instead of plopping down in front of the television that could change my results? How can I start acting a different wage? Am I happy where I am? Do I want to grow? Where do I want to grow to? And what does that look like? Remember, you can't lead other people successfully until you can first lead yourself successfully. So my challenge to you this morning is, how are you leading yourself? What wage do you desire? And are you acting that wage? Do you know what it takes? Gary goes on in those last moments on those pages to say, look, the 12 tactics that he writes about in Shift are just an outline. They're an outline for building and growing a business. Whether we're shifting up, shifting down, shifting left, shifting right. I'm going to talk to you on Wednesday about what Gary said to us when we were on the phone with him on Friday in our monthly mastermind. We'll have that conversation on Wednesday. But regardless of where the market actually is, you can use these 12 tactics as a guide. So go through the 12 tactics, figure out which one you need the most to create the best change in your business, and then figure out which one is number 2, and then figure out which one is number 3. Just prioritize the 12, because it may be different for you than the order in which they wrote them. And then ask yourself these 3 questions. Ask yourself the question, in order to achieve at the highest level, do I know how to do X? If tactic number 1 for you is finding the motivated, well, do you know how to do that? What do you need to accomplish it? And what kind of support do you have to surround yourself with? Who do you need around you to make sure that you're achieving at that high level? All of those things combined will help you to act your wage. And when you continue to act your wage consistently, guess what happens? The wage you desire starts to show up. Let me leave you with this thought today. I would say that almost everybody in this room today is already exhibiting acting their wage. You just have to determine whether the wage is what you want. Because your actions up until today have brought you where you are. If you're looking for a change, an upshift, taking the next things to the next level, you've got to create different actions that get you there. Guys, I hope this was helpful for you this morning. I kind of like my fireside chat opportunity here to read aloud and discuss. Have a spectacular day today. We'll see you at 11 o'clock for Wealth Can't Wait, and we'll see you throughout the week. Have a great one.
Probably, but I haven't talked to him yet.